This is Wellspring, presented by Spectrum Health-Zeeland Community Hospital on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.
And for this Thursday, April 21st, we welcome via the Zoom connection this morning, Sara Donkersloot. Good morning, Sara.
Good morning, Gary, and welcome to Wellspring, a live broadcast sponsored by Spectrum Health-Zeeland Community Hospital. Well, tomorrow is Earth Day, and it's a perfect time to talk about helping the environment. Some people may not connect the Ottawa County Department of Public Health with programs like recycling and composting. Kimberly Wolters, Environmental Health Supervisor, is here via a Zoom connection to tell about the department's environmental sustainability programs. Good morning, Kimberly.
Good morning, Sara.
It's a delight to have you on the radio with us. So what do you do at the Department of Public Health?
At the Department of Public Health, I am an environmental health supervisor, and I oversee our 4 manned environmental health sustainability centers, as well as our 2 unmanned centers where residents can drop off materials to be either properly disposed of or recycled.
So, I think many people, when they think about the Department of Public Health, they think about immunizations. You've been so involved with COVID, and we're glad that, we can be talking about other things on this show other than COVID. So my question is, why would public health be involved with environmental sustainability programs like recycling and composting?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the best way to think of it is a healthy community starts from the ground up. If we have a healthy environment and healthy community, then our public is healthy and we can all enjoy life to the fullest.
So let's talk about programs. You mentioned earlier that you are the supervisor, and you listed that you're involved in, various aspects of this whole recycling and composting. So what programs are included in environmental sustainability?
Yeah, our programs that we include with our program, environmental sustainability, is essentially items to bridge gaps. So there's items that are out there that are easily accessible to everyone. So we provide residential recycling drop-off locations for those who don't have access to curbside. We have household hazardous waste collection for those items I like to think of, underneath the sink and in the garage, so we can properly dispose of those. Scrap metal collection, as well as used oil and antifreeze. We also do electronic recycling, drop-off location. In the spring through fall times, we'll do scrap tire collections. As well as our newly started compost program, which starting May 2nd will be at all 4 of our sites.
Wow. I'm quickly writing all this stuff down. I think I knew it, but those are all things that, we have in our homes, and we think, what am I going to do with, the household hazardous materials or scrap metal or used oil or antifreeze, even, electronic recycling. Are all those listed on your website, that people can find that information?
Yes, all the material is listed on our website at miottawa.org/eco.
Okay, great. So my guest today is Kimberly Wolters, Environmental Health Supervisor. She's talking about the Ottawa County Department of Public Health Department's environmental sustainability programs. She is joining us by Zoom, but if you do have a question, you can call Gary at 395-1450. That's 395-1450, and he will share that with us, and Kimberly could respond to that. So you mentioned a new composting program that's launching May 2. That's just around the corner. The first question would be, is for our listeners who don't know what composting is, give us a little background.
Yeah, so composting in general is the breaking down of organic matter into a fertile soil that can be used to feed our plants naturally. The most simple definition.
So how long does it take to compost, or tell us about how your composting program is going to work?
Yeah, so composting is kind of all depending on how much you want to turn the material and how much work you want to put in it. The more work you put in it, the faster it'll turn into compost. Our goal for our program is to be able to provide a drop-off location for our residents that can't do it in the backyard or can't, do it readily in their apartment, or their condos or whatever. So we are a drop-off location for them, so that a hauler that can take it to their composting facility can essentially do the composting for you. And we are only accepting food waste because yard waste is a bit larger than we can handle.
So how is it going to work? You mentioned that it's a drop-off location. Where is that going to be? Is it in various locations or in the county, or is it in just one specific place?
Yep, currently we have it, we are piloting at our Grand Haven and Holland facilities. Starting May 2nd, we're going to extend that out to our Coopersville and Georgetown location. And how it'll work is that a resident will come in and apply for the program. Then they will either they have three options that they can go with. Either, if you're trying it for the first time, you can purchase a single compostable bag and then bring it back to our facility when it's full for $5. Or you can opt to purchase 3 at a time, because with our pilot program, we realized that people wanted to buy multiples at a time. So you purchase 3 bags at a time for $12, or for, communities, small businesses, and just groups that want to get together and recycle. We do a bin exchange program that they can opt into for $40 a month.
So, it's Earth Day tomorrow. So talk a little bit about how composting benefits the environment and the community.
Yeah, so composting is a really great and simple way to naturally enrich our community, not only in the fact of enriching our earth through our gardens, lawns, and crops, but it can also give us that. It encourages water retention, reduces water erosion. It makes our plants healthier and stronger, reduces greenhouse gases. It does a real lot in just a simple matter of mixing up some food, organic material.
So there might be people who are listening right now and they are already composting in their own backyards. And for that, we say thank you, right? You know what I mean? Will your program take the place of what they're doing?
No, not at all. The goal of our program is not simply a drop-off location either, but to be a place where someone can call us, or if they need more educational information. So if your composting isn't going how you want it to, or you want to make it a bigger, better program in your own backyard, we can give you those connections to those people that need it, and then as well as we're that in between, we're bridging that gap for those who can't do it in their backyard, as well as businesses that are at a larger scale, or they want to find those connections to someone to come to their institution. We will help them get those connections made.
You shared a little bit about it, but I think it's really important to share it again. How can people get started with the program? You mentioned it's starting on May 2. So let's say someone's listening and they say, yeah, I really want to do this. What would be the process for them?
Yeah, the current process is, if you want to start, let's say today, ahead of the game, you can go to their Grand Haven or Holland location and fill in an application, and then you'll get your empty compostable bag that you can take at home. Our bags, we chose the size that are conveniently able to fit into a 5-gallon bucket, so that you can have it in your garage with the lid on it and fill it and take your scraps from your kitchen sink area all the way into your garage or wherever you want to keep that bucket. And once full, then you can return it to our centers. And if you're doing the pallet exchange, we're going to give you those compostable bags as well to line those. We also going to be using the 5-gallon buckets. So you can just exchange those, fill it up, bring it back, and take the bin back with you.
I think it's nice that you pointed out that it's large enough that can fit in, a garbage bin, because that makes it very, very easy, and it gives it the support, that you will need, as it fills. So thank you for that information. Okay. So you mentioned earlier that part of your role is recycling. I think there's a lot of confusion about recycling. So what kinds of things can be recycled?
There's a lot of materials that can be recycled, not necessarily just your conventional, what everyone knows as residential recycling. So your curbside bins, or what you would take in your, standard drop-off locations. Those are items like your paper, plastic, cardboard, glass. But the thing is that kind of gets missed sometimes too, is technically we're recycling in other methods. So your used oil and antifreeze can be taken into being reused as fuel. And then we have electronics. They break that down. Those precious metals that are in there can be reused again. The plastics that are making up your screens and monitors, the glass that's in those can all be recycled once broken down properly. We also, compost is being recycled. It's being repurposed. It's being reused, which is the ideal definition of recycling. Other things you recycle is scrap metal. Scrap metal is, tons are out there that can be reused into other materials and melted down. And we're lucky in Ottawa County that we have a business that is great for collecting scrap metal and really reusing that.
So what are some common mistakes people make when recycling?
The common mistake that is seen in recycling, one of the biggest, is those materials like scrap metal that can be recycled are placed in our curbside recycling bins and in our drop-off bins. Those are items that are recyclable, but not through that stream. So doing your research and figuring out what stream our recycling needs to go into. So as well as large recyclable plastics, those glasses that have been treated for shatterproofing or heat, those are also not residentially able to be recycled.
So talk about, someone who's not doing the curbside recycling, and, again, they have the used oil, they have the antifreeze, they have the electronics, a lot of things that you were talking about. What is the process to be able to get rid of those? Share how someone would go about utilizing the services that the Department of Public Health offers.
Yes. The first step would be to load it all up and come to our centers. We have 4 centers, varying hours, that you can be found on our website. And we have people out there to help you with those questions. They can help you put those in the proper streams. So if you don't have curbside available, that's why we have residential recycling drop-off location. And if you have a piece of scrap metal in the back or a computer screen, we have that where you can do it. So we have that there. So just stop at our centers and we can provide you with what you need.
So you've provided lots of information, Kimberly. Where can people find more information about everything that you've talked about, the new composting program, which is launching May 2, and all of the recycling opportunities?
Yes, you can find it on either our Facebook at Eco Ottawa or on our website at miottawa.org/ECO.
Well, thank you for being here, Kimberly, and for making us aware that we want to take care of our environment, and there are ways that we can do it just right here in our backyard. Until next week, Spectrum Health-Zeeland Community Hospital wishes you well.